Now, I don't know why this next guest has been basically just ignoring me for months now. Ann Coulter is back with us. What, do you only come on when Mark Simone is here? Is that it? What's up with you? Why are you so pissed off? What's the matter?
What are you talking about?
I haven't heard from you in months. You, disappeared off the radar. Where are you? Where have you been? What are you doing?
Supporting Donald Trump, our next president.
Yeah, I know. You've become Trump's special pleader. But I want to ask you first about this Inspector General report.
Oh, she's a bore. Let's not talk about Hillary. She may not even be the nominee.
Listen,
Let's talk about our next president.
It's still the Sean Hannity show. I want to know if you think that this is indicative of the fact that I've been hearing from my sources in D.C.
She's not going to be indicted. She may not be the nominee.
But
Let's move on.
But I hear that what they have discovered. Don't be so rude. I hear what they have discovered is that, in fact, you have 100 FBI agents on it and that they have put their report together. They've now expanded the investigation into the Clinton Foundation and that she has violated many, many laws and that there's going to be a little bit of a showdown here between the FBI and the Justice Department if Loretta Lynch doesn't take the recommendation of the FBI to indict.
She's not going to take the recommendation. Democrats don't go against Democrats. It won't happen. We had the goods on Bill Clinton in 1998. I know Democrats. She's not going to be indicted. And whether she is or she isn't, people know she's dishonest. Democratic voters know she's dishonest. And what they suddenly know, thanks to our probable nominee, Donald Trump, something they wouldn't have known about, certainly anyone under around the age of 28, is that she was an enabler, as Trump said, for her husband's predations, including a credible accusation of rape. One of my friends, as you know, I have a lot of doctor friends in New York. One's a gynecologist, and he has young girls come in who he'll make some remark about Bill Clinton getting oral sex in the White House, in the Oval Office, and they'll get indignant with him and say, "What are you talking about? That never happened." You have to tell them, Google Monica Lewinsky, or at least he did, not anymore, thanks to Donald Trump, the only Republican who ever possibly would have raised that.
You know, this is a definite point that I think needs to be brought up. I like Donald Trump a lot. I like Ted Cruz. I think I said it on Twitter yesterday. I don't apologize for my support for insurgent candidates because America needs strong people, the next president to be strong, or else I think we just continue our decline. Now, let me ask you, why have you decided? I agree with you that I don't think any other candidate could have brought up the issue of Monica Lewinsky, although I don't think he was really talking about that. I got the sense he was talking more about Paula Jones, Juanita Broderick, and Kathleen Lilly.
To choose from, and a lot of Americans don't know about it. The Democrats want to pretend, this is old news, this is old news. No, I'm sorry. It's a very interesting story.
Well, but I think the difference is this: what Trump was talking about was not consensual sex. Trump was talking about Paula Jones, Willie, and Broderick. In each case,
oh, there were more than that. It's the whole kit and caboodle, and it's just another example of how Trump has outsmarted the media, and I might add, most of the conservative media, in the usual attacks on conservatives from the alleged conservative media, and on any Republican candidate from the liberal media. On every single one of their usual attacks, they're completely short-circuited. He's jujitsu'd the media on everything. The war on women, he's going to talk about. He's going to bring up not only that behavior of Hillary's, the predator in chief, but he's going to bring up how the left and the establishment media's Muslim friends treat women, on the Republicans protecting the 1% and being owned by the rich. No, he's the one who wants to raise George Soros and Warren Buffett's taxes. He wants them to pay as much as Ann does, at the same percentage. Both Republicans and Democrats, for more than a decade now, have protected this outrageous loophole. It is just an oversight, but the big donors like it. George Soros and Warren Buffett like paying only 12% of their income. Trump comes along and says that's not fair. And by the way, conservative media, he wants a tax hike. No, he doesn't. He wants these swine hedge fund operators to pay the same rate you and I do. What's the last? The next one is that Republicans are planning on establishing a theocracy. Well, look, evangelicals love Donald Trump. They know he will protect them. He's not PC. He's not going to come after them for praying. Evangelicals, like military types, don't demand that you be one of us. They just want respect, and they certainly get that from Donald Trump. But let's see the media try to claim that Donald Trump is going to impose a theocracy in America. People won't stop laughing. And, of course, the last refuge of a scoundrel is to accuse Trump of racism. The only way they can do that is on his signature issue, immigration, which the American people have been begging for decades, which is why he is sweeping away in the polls, getting people to vote who haven't voted for decades. And to the extent they attack Trump on his immigration stand, that just drives up his black vote.
Let's talk about some of the polls that show that he would get 20% of Democrats and that he would get a higher percentage of the minority vote because of the immigration issue, among others.
Not minority vote, black vote, particularly the way when the and Hispanic votes more than people expect. But specifically, black jobs are being taken by illegal immigrants. It's a big, that's why I kept saying after the 2012 election, hey, look, Republicans, Mitt Romney got 20% of the young black male vote. And he was the one who was the toughest on immigration, which is why he was far and away the best choice last time. But who knew you'd have Donald Trump rising like a phoenix?
Let me walk me through how this election plays out in your head. In other words, let's go through the primaries: Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada, the SEC primary. And walk me through the primary process, how fast you think this will go. I know you are a big Trump supporter. And then tell me how the general election works out, what states you think you could put in play.
Excellent question.
Yeah, thank you. That's my job.
A week after Trump announced, and, predictions are hard, especially about the future, as Yogi Berra said, but since a week after Trump's announcement speech, he won me over with that Mexican rapist speech, I think he's going to run away with it. This is the candidate I've been dreaming of. In fact, I feel like I'm dreaming watching him on TV. Finally, someone who is not beholden to the idiots at the RNC saying what the American people have been asking for. I say caucuses are the weirdest ones because they're like co-op board meetings and, you have to argue and stick around for a long time. But I say and I've said this from week 2, he wins Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. He cleans up. There is no hope.
Well, then stop. Then that's over. If he wins those 3 states, it's over.
And, technically he does have to win more. But, yes, it will be over. Then, in the general election, what's fantastic about Trump, and I'm talking now purely leave aside his unbelievably fabulous policies, his standing up to political correctness, is actually introducing concepts like anchor baby and a wall, and no one will imitate him on all this. The H-1B visas, protecting American jobs, protecting American culture. Forget how fantastic he is, what a wonderful American he is, and how he loves the American people. And just purely as a political strategist, what is so fantastic about Trump is, maybe he won't get 68% of the vote in, Alabama or Oklahoma. Evangelicals won't come out in droves for him because he's not having ecstasies on stage. But he might increase his vote for people who aren't evangelicals in places like Ohio and Pennsylvania, enough to possibly win those states. And something you mentioned earlier that I've been hearing from my sources in New York who work with lots of Hispanics in New York. Hispanics love Donald Trump. It's even possible that he could win New York. He's like the New York Giants. Everybody just loves him in New York.
Well, in New York, but not in. But this is an interesting question and I've been asking it myself. I don't know the answer to it, but and I guess maybe it's more in play now with the exchange that he had with Ted Cruz about New York values, and he defended New York. But I've also interviewed him. I said, Donald, you leave New York, you're going to save 20 cents of every dollar you make if you move to Florida or Texas, and he's not willing to leave just for the money. And from a purely business standpoint, it would be far beneficial for him to get the hell out of here.
Maybe not. A lot of, his business
maybe.
is in real estate. No, in taxes, you may be right, but his business is in real estate. Real estate's very valuable. And I'd also point out that is another thing that I think drives him to his core
But listen to me.
One thing that's been absolutely consistent about Trump, and I didn't know much about him until he won me over with that Mexican rapist speech, but I've been looking, obviously going back, looking at old interviews and old quotes to the newspaper, and without going into details, I may write them up for my column this week. He has just always cared about America first, and American farmers, American workers, through and through, American culture. And I think part of the reason for that is it does make some logical sense. Most of the donors to the other politicians, they just want their money. They want it now. They want the cheap labor. They'll outsource jobs. With Trump, his money comes from real estate. If America goes down, his empire goes down. He is stuck here in America. America has got to be number one in the country.
In the world.
I'm not saying that this is a mercenary decision, but it's part of his being, his whole view and outlook on the world.
You know, I talked to Don Jr. He used an interesting phrase to describe his father. He called him a blue-collar billionaire.
Yes.
I thought that was a pretty accurate phrase. So you really explain. So you think Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Michigan, in play, Wisconsin.
Absolutely, states that would not have been in play. One thing that's I mean, you know, I'm a big Christian. I don't. I think very.
By the way, no. She's a bigger Christian than anybody knows because she has a really good friend. I call him the puppy dog, who follows her around everywhere she goes. He's a great guy, and he wants to marry Ann, and Ann won't marry her because of the religion issue.
And anyway, the point I'm driving at, a lot of our best presidents, Eisenhower wasn't. You know, you don't have to have ecstasies on stage to impress a Christian. Again, I blew past this point kind of quickly. Like the military, you don't have to observe. You have to respect the military and respect what they do. You don't have to have religious ecstasies on stage to get the Christian vote. You have to respect Christians and to vow to protect them, as Donald Trump has, and boy, you know you can believe it.
No. So, do you not think any other candidate has the ability for cross appeal? Now, if you look at the polls in head-to-head matchups, the person on paper
those
in
are
polls
meaningless at this stage.
All right, can I just ask my question and can you chill out?
Yes, but
okay.
I've been saying that from the beginning.
Okay,
Remember
the
when
person
Trump
that let me ask the question. The person that does best is Rubio. The person that does next best is Cruz. The person that does third best is Trump. So why do you feel that the polls are wrong and that you would be right and these states would be in play?
No. I promise you, Trump is going to get more of the Hispanic vote than little Ricky Ricardo will. What anyone who would ever consider voting Republican wants most of all, black, white, or Hispanic, is opportunity and jobs, and that has been crushed for America's not only working class but middle class, just crushed.
All right, Coulter, you're never one shy to offer an opinion. You crack me up, but you're insane. I just want you to know that's what I think of you.